a big shot unless we talking about hip-hop. Bad at TikTok, but I'll make movies like Hitchcock. Challenge Mitch, you'll barely make it like trick shots. Check your wristwatch, it's time for you all to quit. Stop trying me. I'ma be honest, I'm pretty glad no labels eyeing me. I'm independent and I don't want nobody buying me.
Yo, what up everybody, this is Mitch, Darrell, and tonight I wanted to do a type of video I haven't done in a long time. Just kind of my rant talk videos where I literally do just that. I ramble about something that's been on my mind, and I was gonna do this sooner. I'm kind of glad I waited though, because a lot has been revealed in just like 2 weeks. But I wanted to kind of focus on the beef situations that's going on with Cole, Drake, Kendrick, and then a lot of other people have actually joined in. But I specifically wanted to focus on J. Cole. So I'm a fan of J. Cole's. If you're not familiar of who J. Cole is, and I probably would suggest not watching this video, maybe doing some research and listening to some of his music if you want. Super dope secular hip hop artist. Probably my second favorite rapper behind Kendrick. So he is from Fayetteville, born and raised, which is an hour away from where I live in Raleigh. He has his Dreamville Fest in Raleigh every year. I think this is the third or fourth year of it. Haven't gotten a chance to go, but that's a conversation for another day. But anyway, for anybody who's been under a rock or just wants to hear a recap, Drake and Cole did a track called First Person Shooter at the end of last year. They went on a tour together, and about 3 weeks ago, Kendrick Lamar featured on a Future and Metro Boomin album, a track on the album, and he essentially was firing back at Cole and Drake, basically saying Cole had said that there's the big three. There's three of them at the top of the game. It's Drake, Cole, Kendrick. Kendrick said, nah, I'm not with all that. It's just me. Some typical hip hop braggadocio, right? And so what happened was Cole was leading up to his album, The Fall Off, which is supposed to be maybe his last album. He might be retiring soon. But Dreamville Fest was coming up. I think it was around a couple weeks after the Kendrick and Future track dropped. And it sounds like Cole was facing pressure to respond, right? Because there's always been this thing where it's like, you know, you're at the top, but can you move up a spot? Cole has always been considered kind of like the little brother, like the three out of the big three. And so he was pressured and peer pressured by his peers and the internet to respond, right? So he responds in a track called 7 Minute Drill on a project that he dropped, which was an EP that was going to be kind of like a sorry for the wait thing for the actual album coming out, and a track called 7 Minute Drill. And he basically disses Kendrick in his catalog and says he kind of jabs him back, but kind of friendly, but kind of not. And so Dreamville Fest comes, and in my head, I didn't get to go, but I had some friends that got to go and got free tickets, and I was salty. But I was thinking in my head, I was like, I wonder if Cole is going to say anything, if Drake's going to come out, because I think Drake was there last year. I think, is he going to mention it at all? Is he going to perform it? And again, for those of y'all who are living under a rock or just want to hear it, Cole got on stage, and during his performance, I'm not sure if it was towards the end or not, but he essentially apologized to Kendrick and said, you know what? I felt pressured into doing this. Even my guys in real life were telling me I need to respond. What you gonna do? I did it. And then it didn't sit right with my spirit. He used the word spirit. He said it didn't sit well with him. He couldn't sleep. And it just didn't feel right because that's his guy. He didn't feel any type of way. And he wanted to apologize to Kendrick. He got the fans to say, how many of y'all think Kendrick Lamar is super dope? And then I think he performed No Role Models, I think. And of course, that turned the world upside down, because hip hop is known for braggadocio and for competition and competitiveness. And it's been years of like, who's the best and whatever. And Cole apologized. And that's not something that you see rappers do often, right? So all of that is to say, the point of this video is I wanted to talk about not just apologizing is part of it, but just doing the unpopular thing, right? So as a person who likes hip hop, who likes friendly competition, I love it in sports. I love it in anything. If it can be friendly competition, I'm for it. So in that aspect, I was kind of sad in a way when it didn't seem like we were going to get like a back and forth between two people who I believe are cool with each other in Kendrick and Cole. But that was only, it was just a small bit of me. It's kind of a selfish part of me. But most of me was actually impressed, and I had a lot of respect for Cole for getting up on his stage, his festival stage, in front of his fans, who typically are the ones arguing with Kendrick and Drake fans, saying that he's the best, right? And said, you know what, I didn't feel right to me, knowing that this was going to go obviously around the world and not just stay in Raleigh. I want to apologize. And I wasn't able to sleep. People were saying I had to respond, but like it didn't sit well with me, and so I have to do this. I have to apologize, and if he responds, I completely understand, but I'm tapping out, right? And it's one of those things, because unpopular because of what hip hop is. It's also, a lot of people have ego. A lot of people couldn't imagine getting on stage and apologizing. People are saying, stand on business. Why are you apologizing? But in general, apologizing is not a bad thing. Like, for the most part, if you feel you need to apologize for something, then you probably should, if that makes sense. Even if, and I kind of stand by that, because there's been times that I'll apologize for things just in case, because of the way I feel and the way I think I may have come across. Even almost knowing that the person's going to be like, no, it's fine, you don't have to apologize, like it's all good. But sometimes it's for me, which in a selfish way, but sometimes it's just in case I may have offended you, but also I don't feel right not knowing that I didn't come across the way I wanted to, or that I was out of character. I'm going to apologize. And it's not always an easy thing to do. It's really not an easy thing to do. You have to set all of your pride aside, right? And so he did that on the largest scale you can kind of imagine, right? Knowing that people were going to find it unpopular. But I do think, of course, as Christians, we should, apologize and try to make things right. But even like just morally speaking, I think trying to be the best man you can be, sometimes you have to set aside your pride. And if you feel wrong about something you did, and it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks, if anybody else is like, no, you did the right thing, you didn't do the wrong thing, you shouldn't feel bad. You know how you feel at the end of the day. It's you and your conscience, right? And if you feel bad about something, then I feel, you should apologize. And the worst that could happen is the person says, oh, no, you ain't got to apologize, we're all good. And then you're clear, right? So I didn't really have a problem with the apology, right? He made a mistake and apologized for it. But on a bigger note, I don't know much about J. Cole's faith, other than I know he believes in God. I don't know if he considers himself a Christian. I know he's mentioned Christ and Jesus before, but I don't know his exact standing. I don't know him, obviously. But it was a very relatably Christian thing to make a decision that is so unpopular that the masses are like disgusted by it. Like, it made me think about how sometimes I've made decisions solely because I believe this is what Jesus would do. This is the right thing to do. This is what the word tells me to do. And I've had both non-Christians and Christians kind of be like, really? You did that? I can't believe you did that. Or really, I would have done this. And I'm just like, it almost is a sign sometimes, especially as a Christian, when you're hearing that a lot, like, I wouldn't have done that, or how could you do that, or that's crazy, that you're doing the right thing, right? Because there's a ton of examples of Jesus and the disciples and apostles doing things where it's like, that's not what I would do. It's like, well, yeah, I'm set apart. That's what set apart is not doing something that's going to look like the popular thing. Taking the what is it? What is that poem? Is it a Robert Frost poem? Just the I can't even speak. The road less traveled, right, is literally that. You're going to look crazy traveling the road less traveled. So, and I get people are going to be like, you're making this deeper than it should be, and it's rap and it's hip hop. But just to me, I've gained even more respect for Cole than I already had, which was already a lot. But just making the decision that is objectively going to be viewed as wrong, or the bad decision, or the lame decision, or the, oh my goodness, you let people down, and people are saying his career is over, but it's like, even if he's not a Christian, like, to me, it's morally good and could show an influence because he said his spirit. And again, I don't want to pretend to say J. Cole's a Christian and everything, but like, I think God can work through people, even if they don't know that that's what's happening. And the thought of being like, I couldn't sleep, and like, I just felt this was out of my character, and I don't want to, I respect this person. Like, your conscience speaking to you, which I think our consciences were all created by God, right? Morality. And he felt wrong about it, so he decided to apologize for it. So it's not, I'm taking a little step further than just the hip hop part of it, because I get it, the friendly competition, people want to see that. But if ultimately, my thing with friendly competition is it's only friendly if everybody views it as friendly. So if, I don't know how Kendrick views it exactly, but if you're Cole and you're not sure if this is friendly competition or not, and then you respond and you're like, I don't know if what I did was just friendly or if I disrespected somebody I respect, then it's not friendly competition anymore. Now, at least if it's not to you, then you might as well tap out of it, you know? And there's nothing wrong with that. So I try to put myself in those shoes. If a peer of mine who I wasn't like best friends with, but like I knew kind of, threw some shots at me, and I wasn't sure if they were like friendly fire or if it was like real behind that, and then I responded, and then I was like, wait, I'm kind of, this isn't it, like it would feel weird. It'd be like, I don't really know if we're on the same page, and I'm not feeling good about it. I could see apologizing for something like that. It made sense to me. So if anyone made it this far in the video, then you clearly know what I'm talking about, and you're not like, what do you mean? Because I'm sure I'm gonna get some comments that are like, why are you talking about secular hip hop? And that's a whole different video. But yeah, I just wanted to give my thoughts on J. Cole. I really respect him a lot, and based on how everything has started to pan out over the last week and a half or so, he seems to be the smartest person for kind of just saying, I'm gonna go back to working on my album, and y'all can do whatever y'all want to do. But yeah, so I want to know y'all's thoughts if y'all have any. Who do you think's up in the beef right now? What are you looking forward to happening? And what do you think about Cole, really? What do you think about him apologizing? Do you think it was a right move, wrong move? What do you think about doing the unpopular thing? What do you think about God working through people without them necessarily knowing what it is? They just said, I have a feeling, you know. Let me know. I love doing these videos, man. It's just fun. Just sit down, talk. It's been 11 minutes, 12 minutes. It's crazy. But I appreciate y'all. Hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Hope you guys listen to some dope hip hop. Appreciate y'all a ton. I truly do. Like and subscribe if you haven't. Praise God.